Whoa! Governor Pritzker, Pinocchio knows, caught lying. This is crazy, folks. Pritzker went on national TV, spoke to Bret Baier, and Bret Baier was talking about the violence in Chicago. Chicago is #1 in the country when it comes to big cities having the highest murder rate. But Pritzker says no. But Bret Baier shows him the stats. Stats don't lie. Folks, this is a mess in Illinois, particularly with Governor Pritzker. He is now under federal investigation, according to Pam Bondi, about, ICE agents being attacked, his rhetoric, his uncooperating with the federal government when it comes to immigration enforcement. Governor Pritzker also got caught on the hot mic, or openly admitted that he wants these illegals to come in so they can get amnesty, so they can vote. This is sick. This is crazy, folks. Check it out.
Why does Chicago have the highest murder rate of all the big cities?
Well, we are not in the top 30 in terms of our murder rate. Indeed, our murder rate it has been cut in half over the last 4 years, and every year it's gone down by double digits. And if you look at all of the violent crime over the last 4 years,
here's a map.
They've all gone down.
Most U.S. cities, 17.47 per 100,000 population. Chicago is #1 over Philadelphia, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Phoenix, Los Angeles, New York, and San Diego.
What I'm explaining to you is when you want to fight crime. Look, you can pull statistics up.
No, these are murders.
I'm explaining to you that our murder rate has been cut in half. And very importantly, Brett, and you got to hear this, very importantly, we've been doing the things that are necessary to bring crime down, right? We've invested in community violence interruption. We've invested in police. I've added more state police than any governor in quite a long time. It's very important that we do both of those things and more to invest in our communities so that we bring crime down. We're doing that. You know who's doing the opposite? Donald Trump.
J.B. Beck, Ribs, Pritzker, they're doxing, they're telling people the whereabouts of ICE agents. Is that legal?
No. And Jesse, first time I've seen the Lori Lightfoot video was just now on your show. She will be getting a letter from us tomorrow to preserve anything that she's done as well to make sure that she's not violating the law. It appears she is. You cannot disclose the identity of a federal agent, where they live, anything that could harm them. Pritzker, same ballgame with him. And, Pelosi got a letter today from Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. So did Brooke Jenkins, that DA in San Francisco. We told them, preserve your emails, preserve everything you have on this topic, because if you are telling people to arrest our ICE officers, our federal agents, you cannot do that. You're impeding an investigation, and we will charge them if they think they have not met me, because we will charge them if they are violating the law. We will protect our federal agents. They're out there working nonstop, as you're showing right now during a shutdown. These people are out there working to keep Californians safe, yet you've got Pelosi out there saying to obstruct their investigation. You can't do it, and we're going to investigate her now, as well as that DA. Right, and Pritzker's on the list too, Jesse.
Said to Hakeem Jeffries, who really wants to see Illinois move to redistrict congressional seats.
I've suggested to him that he needs to talk to the legislators, the legislative leaders, most especially to the delegation, our congressional delegation in Washington, and that that's something that I know he's pursuing, and we'll see whether the legislature has any interest in taking it up. I think that, as I've said all along, I think that the more that Donald Trump takes on this, endeavor of redistricting mid-decade, which is really mostly unheard of, and doing it only for the reason that he knows he's going to lose in 2026 if he doesn't rig the system in his favor, that's something that should weigh on the minds of people who are considering whether or not Illinois should do something about it. Yes.
Sent a letter to the president offering a sort of compromise, a path forward for undocumented people who have legal, but then also kind of a push to the Trump administration to only really focus on those most violent offenders. Would you consider starting a dialogue with the president, instead of exchanging insults, starting a dialogue to use that letter as a possible way forward?
Well, I have advocated for a long time for comprehensive immigration reform. We need a way to address the challenges of immigration in this country. We haven't addressed it for 40 plus years. And the result is that we have laws that are disjointed, that allow ICE agents to issue their own detainer orders. I mean, that's not heard of on the streets of the United States. You don't have police issuing their own detainer orders. They get a warrant, and then they go pick somebody up based on that warrant. This is not what happens with ICE, so that because of the failure of those laws. So I absolutely, and I have been very clear about what my views are about that. So have, by the way, many, many Democrats who believe that we need to secure our border. I mean, you don't have a country if you don't have a secure border, and make sure that people who are in this country, who are law-abiding, who are holding down jobs, who are paying taxes, who are our good friends and neighbors, good people, that they have a chance to stay in this country, whatever status they're given, but they have a chance to be in this country, maybe even to become U.S. citizens.
Would you consider actually trying to talk to them?
I'm always open to a conversation with the president. I will say that, you know, when he does things like threatens to jail the mayor of Chicago, the governor of Illinois, the governor of California, et cetera, it makes it all the more difficult. So, yes. Hi, Olivia.
Now, we've been covering the chaos in Illinois and Chicago, and I call it chaos because it is chaos. ICE agents, DHS, Border Patrol continue to get under attack by citizens because of Pritzker and because of Brandon Johnson. The rhetoric, I've never seen anything like it. It is crazy in Illinois. We've been watching the ambushes, the protest riots. They call it peaceful protesting. It's not. Maybe 10% of the people there are protesting peacefully, but they're coming to fight ICE. They're coming to resist federal agents. Why is Governor Pritzker so adamant of protecting illegals in the state of Illinois? Well, the clip I just shared with you, because he wants votes. He thinks that illegals will vote Democrat, pretty much, and keep them in power. It's sick, folks, at the cost of safety and security and citizens being victimized in Illinois. What a mess. And then they have a budget crisis in Chicago because they were housing and feeding and helping all the illegals over citizens. They don't have the money, so they're passing it along to taxpayers and finding little creative ways to raise taxes to pay for all this nonsense. It's insanity, folks. Caught lying again, the governor. Let me know what you think. We're covering what's going on in Chicago on a daily basis, and Illinois and its suburbs. What a mess. Supreme Court be ruling soon. I think we're going to see the National Guard start rolling in. Stay tuned for that. I am JLR Investigate. Sub to the channel, like, hit the notification button. Let me know what you think about the Illinois stuff going on. We're paying attention on the channel, and every twist and turn we share on the channel. We'll talk soon. JLR Investigates. Stay tuned.